Alright, today we are going to load a roll of film into this Fed to rangefinder. So, the first thing we're going to do, well, let's make sure that the shutter is disengaged, it is not cocked. So just push on the shutter release. Alright, it's not cocked, that's good. So now we're going to open up the back of the camera, and you do that with these two keys on the bottom. Simply lift them out like so, and turn half turn. And half turn this way. So this one goes clockwise, this one goes counterclockwise. And then you're going to slip off the back of the camera like so. There we go. Alright. So we now have the back of the camera off. Put that to the side, exposing the innards of the Fed 2. So what we have here is the place for the cartridge there. And we're going to string that across or pull that across here and take it up into the take-up spool. The take-up spool is metal and it does release. If you pull it out, there we go, you can remove it. And you can see that the take-up spool has this catch right here. This catch is where you're going to stick the lip of the film, is inside this thing right here. So I'm going to pull out a little bit of the film, give me something to work with. I'm going to take the take-up spool, which has a metal clip that is going to hold the film in place as I insert the film into this, up underneath this lip right here. Making sure to make sure to keep this part pointing down, because that's the orientation you need it in. And then this is just going to slip right here. So I'm going to slip this, tell you what, let's watch this way. Let's slip this up underneath the clip like so, push it as far as it'll go, and you notice that it's kind of hard to do given the orientation of the camera, or the movie camera that is. So as I push this up underneath, you're going to notice that there's a little grabber right there. There's a sharp end of this clip. It sort of hooks around, and that little sharp end is going to go into one of the sprocket holes, ideally. Because the thing about this is it's going to pull the film, well here, it's going to pull the film this way. So you want that clip, you want that sprocket hole to catch on that clip, like so. There, if you can see that. Ideally, that's what you want, that clip right there to catch onto that sprocket hole so it doesn't let go. Now, extend the film just a bit. There we go. I'm going to replace the take-up spool here. Now, it's important to get the film securely onto that clip, because as I rotate it, it's going to rotate this way, as opposed to which means that the clip has got to have a really strong grip on that film. So here is, this is not easy to do with the way this thing is situated. All right. So here, I'm going to hold this steady with my thumb. I'm going to advance the film here. Okay. And as I advance, you can see, there we go. All right, you can now see that the sprocket holes are properly engaged here. Okay, so this suggests that the film is, in fact, yeah, you can see the sprocket hole. You can see the sprocket coming through the hole here and here. Now let's just release that and go ahead and give it another turn just to make sure. And voila, yes, okay. That film is in. I may have wasted a shot, frankly, but with these old cameras, I think it's worth it just to make sure the film got in correctly. So we now have the film securely fastened in place, and we can replace the back cover, which simply slips back on, just like it came off. Hold on. Oh, poof. What's going on now? Hold on. There we go. Okay, looks fine. Very good. And we put the back cover on top like so, and slide it gently in so the back cover is underneath. The lip is enclosed here. Okay. Now, with the back covers back on, we turn the keys, set them back. Uh-oh. This one doesn't feel like it's on right. So, aha! There we go. Squeeze that. Hear it snap into place. Now it turns nice and smoothly. Very good. Okay. So now I have the back on, and I'm going to advance it 2 frames just to make sure that, there we go. And you can see this turning as I advance. And release again and advance. Okay. And you notice now that the shutter speeds on the Fed 2 are set after you advance the film, because the indicator, the index mark, is going to give you a different reading before and after you advance the film. So the accurate reading is the one after you advance the film. So this camera is now set on 2/50th. Okay. And I've got Pro Image 100 film in there. I'm going to be shooting in bright daylight. So Sunny 16 was giving me 100 in f/16. So I'm going to shoot it at 250 in f/11. So I'm going to set my aperture for f/11. As you can see, it's set right here at f/11. And when I focus, I'm going to use generally mostly zone focusing. So to deploy this lens, just pull it out and give it a clockwise twist, about a quarter twist clockwise. And now I'm going to take the focusing mechanism and I'm going to put, let's see if you can see this. I'm going to put the f/11 mark, which is behind this pin, but right to the side you can see the infinity mark, and I'm going to line up the f/11 mark with the infinity mark, and that's going to indicate that everything from, if I look at the f/11 over here, it lines up with the number 3. So everything from 3 meters to infinity will now be in focus. I did a separate video on hyperfocal marks and how to use them. That was just a brief demonstration, but go check out that video as well. And we now have a Fed 2 loaded with film and ready to shoot. And that's all there is to it. I almost forgot to mention that once you load film into the Fed 2, you need to manually reset the frame counter. That's this gizmo right here. There's your index mark. Here's your frame counter. And what you're going to do is grab that little nub right there, that little piece of metal, and it's going to, there's another one over here, and you just rotate it around until it says, there we go, and to the 0. There we go. Just rotate that around so the 0 lines up with the index mark there. Okay. So now the 0 lines up with the index mark, and when I fire in advance, this is going to now give me an accurate count of how many exposures I've taken. An older camera has to be advanced, or has to the frame counter has to be reset manually. It does not automatically reset. Okay, so that should conclude the process for loading film into the Fed 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe and check out the links below. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.